Hey guys, welcome to our next Let's Build. Today we will be building a mage tower. However, before that, we have changed our texture pack. So you can see there the wooden logs. We are using the Conquest texture pack.
It is actually called Resource Pack.
Resource pack, yeah. And it also comes with music, which is really good. And if you have a look, those houses had a thatched roof, and in fact they had two colours. So what this texture pack does, it needs Optifine, that is a requirement, or MC Patra, and what it does, it uses meta block data, which is if, for example, stone bricks are x:1, then cracked stone bricks are x:2. Is that right?
Yeah, and you can change the texture in creative mode with glass bottle. With left clicking or right clicking.
So it uses the metadata, which is not used by the game for anything, to actually modify the texture of it. And you can do that because Minecraft allows you to have any block ID.
However, it's nice, but it kind of restricts you to use the same resource pack we use to get the optimal look of the game, of the map.
However, if, for example, with those beams in the wool, if you use the resource pack, you get those beams and it looks really good. If you don't use the resource pack, you just get it white because it's snow.
Yeah.
So it's a lot better if you use the resource pack. However, if you don't, it's still decent. It's still a decent experience.
Yeah, but there are some nice things in this metadata, like a smoke. Actually, the cobwebs
You could
are
see it
animated
there a
as
little
smoke.
while ago.
Yeah, at the blacksmith. And the shipyard is looking much better now. I slightly changed it, but it's not on the footage anywhere.
So we had this old mage tower, but we just weren't happy with it. It just wasn't doing it. It wasn't the mage tower, it was a basic of the mage tower. But you know, if you have a look at that, it doesn't look like a mage tower. This city is known in the whole land, in the whole kingdom, and kingdoms next to it, by its mages. And its mages are very powerful, and they would not want to live in that.
Well, nobody would want to live in that.
Exactly. And the lava actually burned the place down as well.
Yeah, like 3 times.
So we decided to change things a lot. So as you can see, we like the design in the middle, which symbolised
4 elements.
4 elements. And we had this whole idea where each element would have its own designated tower, and there would be one main tower joining them all. So as you can see, we started playing around in World Edit, and I sketched up the tower. It was a very quick sketch, a very simple sketch. And
spoiler alert, Sam sent me the sketch. He sent me a photo of from his cell phone. It was so blurry, I couldn't make anything out of it. So I was just pissing around when he was doing the stuff.
So as you can see, the tower slopes up fast at the beginning and then slower up top, which I think adds a nice. It breaks up the tower. It breaks it up a lot, and it's also got 2 walls, so we can carve out into the tower.
Yeah, it has 2 layer And also you might ask why I use these emeralds and lapis, why we use them. It's to designate the, how do you call it, the compass sites, the north, west, east and south. And we had the idea that every side of the tower would be facing north or south or whatever, and it will be tied to one element.
And historically, there is elements are tied to world sides, compass sides, for some reason. So this is going to be one of the towers of the 4 elements. We decided all of the towers will be roughly the same, just minor changes to symbolise the element. And we're thinking whether we want to support it by magic or to support it by pure support. So we decided to support it by support, and I like my build to be as realistic as possible. So although this is a mage tower, the support should be fairly able to structurally hold up the tower.
Yeah, just be massive enough to hold it.
So there we go, they were playing around with it.
Oh, by the way, everything that happens in Water Edit, Sam does it. I have no idea what Water Edit does.
So we trimmed down the supports because it was a bit too big. It was a bit too over the top and it ruined the whole tower.
Yeah. Actually, from the tower there's a great view.
There's a lovely view of the whole city. And there you can see...
And the swamps and everything that's surrounding it. So
the tower itself is... the basic shape is there and we'll just be modifying it from there on.
Yeah. We had been talking a lot if we want just one minor tower connecting to the main tower, or if you want the 4 towers, and how we will manage it, because as you can see the support of the tower is really low. It starts really low and that will obstruct the entrance. So we had to make some, well, we in the end haven't done any compromises, but we were really thinking about just keeping one.
I really like the idea of a tower for each element. I just thought that was great, so the wizards could master each element properly. And as you can see there by the water drop, that's symbolising the water element, and that's supposed to be a tree symbolising the earth element. But
it's a level up.
Yeah, it's an arrow up.
It's a level up arrow.
So I'm not sure about that, but we'll see what we can do.
And by the way, I'm just doing the Altair, or I was calling it Oculus. Yeah, I was, for some reason I said Altair from Assassin's Creed, but it's supposed to be the Oculus to concentrate the magic, but I couldn't make it, so I made the altar. And just for the fire, I mean air magic here, it will be changed for everyone else.
As you can see there, I just copied over the tower so I could get a rough idea what it will look like.
There you see it. Sam is cheating.
So there's the altar on the top of the tower, designated to the air element, and the mages can perfect their air magic and even master the element of air by that altar. So now we had the exteriors done. Actually, we're still here. We were doing minor decorations.
Yeah, like the bridges
and there's a bit of cobblestone walls and fences, and These minor decorations make a awfully big difference when you have a large build like this, because if you don't add them, like the old Mage Tower, it looks just too plain, really.
Yeah, it looks like a cylinder.
Which you just have to avoid in Minecraft. So there you can see there's... Essentially we are finishing up the outsides, although we will come back to them and roughen them up a bit. Because the Mage Tower has been in this city, in this town, for a very long time, and it needs to look a little bit battered. As you can see there inside, I'm putting down the floor, and we will be heading onto the inside now, or in a moment. So there's the inside, and this is every tower. There's one Archmage, and there are 4 Archmages of each element. And the main Archmage, which controls all of them, or is in charge of all of them. And this is the less important Archmage's quarters. So here there's a luxury staircase to the altar up the top, so the mage doesn't have to go take a long route, he can take the shortest route. And I really liked the idea in Skyrim where the mage had this garden in the middle where he could grow his herbs and train his magic on plants and conduct all sorts of funky experiments. And you know, mages, they're very frantic and they're very messy people. They just can't keep a place tidy, and they have books everywhere, and they can never find anything. I could as well.
I could be a great mage.
And so I added this very congested library and shelves with junk on, because I thought it's very adequate for a mage. So I decided to add a floor that would go around the top there, so the mage could store more books. Also,
as you can see, Sam is using the slabs, which is great when you are dealing with bookshelves, because they are split in half, pretty much, so it looks uneven.
And there you can see I've used the connected textures for the chain. And also, talking about slabs, they have a very good advantage that they take up half the space of a block. So you can make areas look bigger than they actually are by putting slabs in as the floor instead of whole blocks. There I'm finalising up the place.
Yeah,
adding some vines because it needs to look run down and heavily used.
Yeah.
And I'm happy with the result. I think when you walk through the middle it looks very congested and chaotic.
Speaking of congestion, there's one thing missing, and that's toilet. So if Archmage is in rush, he would have to go to the apartment, which we will make in a second. Here we do the bookshelf in lower levels,
Here's
library.
The library, yes, in the low levels. And wow, did you see that ghost in the back? Ooh. There's another one.
I haven't.
On the floor. So this is in the bottom of the tower, where there are books designated to the element of air and all the magic related to the element of air.
Now we had a problem with lightning, and as you can see, torches in the library not really safe. So we get the idea to use the glowstones, like in the Archmage quarters.
The torches are just temporary, so you can see what we're doing. There you can see there's a couple of beams supporting the structure and a couple of places to sit down. And it's not very light down there, but it's light enough to read a book if you've got a good vision, which a mage has to have, obviously.
Or he or she can use a potion
Of night vision. There you go. So here we thought that the mage tower needs some rooms for the mages that aren't necessarily the archmage, or they're just
a common
mages.
Yeah.
However, all of the mages in this tower have designated themselves to study more of the element of air. And as you can't see there in the room, there in the corner, we have built a toilet.
Yeah.
And
you will see that one day.
I have found a no-clip plugin, so I will be trying to film the interiors a little bit better.
Now we had a problem that everything looked pretty much the same when we used the wood. So we were pissing around with those stone blocks.
With connected textures.
And the metadata. And this pretty much looks the best because it just stands out. This cobblestone, this framed cobblestone.
And as you can see, the rooms are very cozy, but in the medieval ages, nobody really had too much room.
Yeah, here I'm standing there because I'm frantically trying to find one picture, one painting.
So
I was finding it for like half an hour.
We finalise the tower, and it looks a bit, it looks a bit like a Minecraft building, which is not necessarily what we're going for. We're trying to make our builds look like they could be out of any game, so we're trying to make them as least blocky as possible. And as you can see there with some indents, if you use stairs in buildings, they can add a small gap, and that gap is a little amount, but it makes a extraordinary difference.
Yeah, it breaks the plainness of the site.
And as you can see there was the Archmage's quarters and his garden and his beautiful view of the surroundings. So now we started to copy and paste all of the towers around. It's quite tricky when you're trying to copy and paste something of this extent and complexity. And we have actually not looked inside the buildings, which is a bit worrying, but we'll of course have to do that and hope for the best.
We also had the problems with elevation.
Yeah, I was doing the copying and pasting, and Fun was...
Don't mention.
Fun was trying to tell me whether I need to go up or down, or left or right. And he wasn't too successful. As you can see, this tower is about 5 blocks above the other tower.
Yeah.
Which made, it was an extra half an hour of work roughly. But it's the things you have to account with and deal with, really.
Still better than doing it from the scratch.
Certainly. However, we did copy one tower which had issues. And
yeah, it was maybe the flipping. I believe it was the flipping, the horizontal flip that made the stairs. Yeah.
And all these stairs were in the wrong orientation, so we spent about half an hour changing all those.
They were pretty much in the same orientation. they were just, all of them were facing the same way, which is not what you want. It's this one, the one that you can see closest to you. That's the one.
And as you can see there, I was moving down the tower and fixing it up. There, we're fixing up the tower and making it look how it should do. And as you can see, it's already looking quite good. But you won't be finishing the Mage Tower itself this episode. We will have to do that next episode because it's just too long for one episode with a big building like this.
Certainly.
If you want to decide what we will do episode after next, you can let us know in the comments.
Yeah, we can do pretty much anything.
Well, that's... Well, of course, if you say a casino, we won't do that. But if you say something sensible, we will look at a way at putting it in the town or in the outside of the town.
Yeah. Here you can see that we were just screwing out with the roofs, just changing the gems in the altar, etc. It ended up looking really nice. I was skeptical about it because I was thinking that the 4 towers will make the tower look dwarfed. It will make it look too copied and pasted. Not the issue. Not really an issue.
So, that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed our video, subscribe to our channel, give us a like, and most importantly, if you like our video, please share it, because it does mean an awful lot to us and it does help us a lot.
Also, if you have some recommendation what we did wrong, what we can improve on the tower, what we can improve in the city, etc., just tell us in the comments below. Don't be shy. And here you can see the smokes over the chimney.
Okay, bye guys, thanks, bye.
Bye.